Want to know how to create this layered heart mandala using vinyl and plastic? Well then keep watching for this step-by-step tutorial. Hi, my name is Kim with Kimagine DIY, where I hope to help you imagine the possibilities with DIYs and crafts. If that sounds like fun, consider subscribing. Now let's just jump right into this project. First, let's grab the free SVG. We're going to click Libraries. Join her emailing list to receive the password and get access to a ton of free SVGs. On my keyboard, I hit Ctrl F to find a word on the page. Then type in heart and search for the layered heart mandala. Select to download. Skip ahead if you already know how to upload SVGs to Cricut Design Space. Then open your Downloads folder. Right-click the zipped file and then select Extract All. Then click Extract. Open up Cricut Design Space to a new project. Then select Upload, Upload Image, and then Browse. Select the mandala's extracted folders until you get to the SVGs. I chose the larger one, but I'm going to resize it anyway for my project. Then Upload. Select your uploaded SVG and click to Canvas. I'm resizing my project to 6.5 inches in height. Next, I ungrouped the SVG. Then I spread out the layers so I can choose my color options. Once you are happy, click Make It. I wanted to try something a little crazy. I was also slightly ambitious and decided to try to see if I can place a full sheet of vinyl on top of a sheet of craft plastic. This is the first time I'm attempting to stack two materials so it can be cut at once. Of course, of the three materials that I'm using, I chose to start with the most difficult one, holographic vinyl. I made so many mistakes, I decided to just cut out a square large enough for the project. Then I carefully lined up the edges and used my scraper to help smooth it flat onto the craft plastic. That was so much easier. Then I placed the craft plastic against the standard grip mat and used my brayer to press all the materials together. I selected the heart that I wanted to cut out and then hit Continue. Then go to Browse Materials and select Acetate. I decided to put my pressure to more since I'm cutting two different materials. Once it is done cutting, press the C button again. Honestly, hindsight, for the holographic vinyl, I probably would have also pressed it a third time for at least one more pass. I am personally not a fan of scraps, so I'd like to make the most of my materials as I'm using them. I chose to place the scrap piece of vinyl down and cut out the other heart layer that was required for the project, and some filler hearts to use up the rest of the vinyl. Weeding was slightly difficult because, like I said prior, I would definitely recommend one more pass, but it came out looking great. Took a little bit of manual effort using the craft blade. But having this holographic layer took the design to the next level. I am a determined person, so I decided to give it another try with this different vinyl that almost reminded me of those school folders. It was actually going on well until I decided to use a brayer and created a bunch of ripples that I could barely get out. Since I am cutting out layers, I took the chance that the imperfections wouldn't be as prominent. Now that I have a whole sheet covered in vinyl, I can attach together a bunch of SVGs in Cricut Design Space, making sure it would fit within the available mat. I use the same settings, acetate, and let it run through twice. This material was so much easier to weed. You can see that it left most of the negative pieces of my design on the mat. I had very minimal manual weeding. Now for the final layer. matte vinyl was my favorite material of the three to work with. I need to cut a 12 by 12 inch square since the product came on a roll. Then I chose to try something different and lay the plastic down on the mat first, and then the vinyl on top of it. I felt like it did help in the sense that it wasn't curling up the plastic as I was trying to place the vinyl down. The difference when you're applying matte vinyl onto craft plastic is that it does have a bit of stretch, so you need to be careful when scraping it down. Here is a real-time example of how slow I was going. It may seem tedious, but it's much cheaper than cutting colored craft plastic, and you have so many more colors and materials to work with. I was able to smooth out most of the vinyl, except this one ripple here. I strategically arranged my SVGs so it would be minimally noticed. Weeding this black layer was so easy. I wish I started with this material first. Now that I have all my layers, it's time to add the foam spacers. I first placed them as best as I could guess where they should be, but I quickly found out I was wrong. It seemed easier just to flip over the next layer above, since you can clearly see where the new holes will be. Then peel off the protective wax paper and set it above the bottom layer. Repeat the steps for each layer. Flip the following layer over, put the adhesive foam on the back side, peel the wax paper off, and center above the previous layers. As the designs become more intricate, that's when I started to switch to the smaller foam blocks. The top layer was so skinny, I had to take my craft knife and slice the smallest one in half. This is really where those tweezers came in handy when placing them. The last step is to glue a magnetic strip to the back of my project. I'm using leftover magnetic vent covers, but they sell magnetic strips too. For adhesive, I'm using Gorilla Clear Grip Contact Adhesive, and it's also waterproof. I've tried to use hot glue before, but in the hot Florida sun, it has melted my projects and many have fallen to pieces on the floor. Here's the heart mandala. I love how the holographic vinyl makes it look transformative, and it adds some flair to my welcome sign. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to see another video like this, you can click the card right up here or click here for an entire playlist. And I will see you in the next video.